Where legends breathe again. Eldmyth. In the shadows of the Goetia, one spirit stands apart not for terror but for truth. Vassago, the third spirit of Solomon's lesser key, a demon said to reveal what is lost, uncover what is hidden, and speak only of things that truly are. Not evil, not benevolent, simply inevitable. The air grows still. Not a comforting quiet, but the dense, pregnant silence that descends just before a storm. It is in these moments of unnatural calm, in the liminal spaces between wakefulness and sleep, in the forgotten corners of ancient libraries, that the presence makes itself known. Not as a shriek or a roar, but as a whisper, a susurration that seems to originate from within your own mind. It speaks of things hidden, of treasures buried by time, of secrets you thought were yours alone. This is the first touch of Vassago, a name that echoes through the annals of demonology, not with the cacophony of a destroyer, but with the chilling, deliberate cadence of a revealer. He is the great prince of the infernal realms, the third spirit in the powerful hierarchy of the Ars Goetia, yet his dominion is not over brute force or fiery torment. His kingdom is knowledge, and his currency is truth. To invoke Vassago is to open a door to a library where every book is bound in shadow, and every page reveals a past, present, or future best left concealed. Imagine the scent of ozone and old parchment, the feeling of static raising the hairs on your neck, the visual distortion at the edge of your vision, where darkness seems to congeal into intelligent form. He is the answer to a question you were too afraid to ask, the solution to a mystery that should have remained unsolved. His influence seeps into reality like ink into blotting paper, staining the mundane world with echoes of forgotten epics and prophecies yet unborn. Follow now into the gloom as we trace the origins of this enigmatic entity, whose very purpose is to pull back the veil, regardless of the horrors or the revelations that lie behind it. To understand Vassago, one must first journey back to the crossroads of mythology, theology, and the human hunger to categorize the unseen. His name itself is a key, vibrating with ancient power. In the seminal grimoire known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, a 17th century compilation of occult knowledge drawing on far older sources, he is listed as the third spirit. He is a mighty prince, commanding 26 legions of infernal spirits, but his nature is described as good, a terrifyingly ambiguous term in the context of demons. He is said to appear when summoned in the form of a man, but this is a superficial courtesy, a mask worn to facilitate communication with fragile human minds. Some scholars trace his etymology to Chaldean roots, linking him to concepts of earth and prophecy. Others see in his name a corruption of older, pagan deities of knowledge and the underworld, entities who were neutered and demonized by rising monotheistic faiths. He is not a devil of temptation in the traditional sense. He does not bargain for souls with promises of wealth or power. His offer is far more insidious: clarity. He is the archetype of the forbidden teacher, the one who provides answers without moral guidance on their use. In certain esoteric traditions, he is associated with the planet Mercury, the swift messenger, the god of communication and thieves, of those who traffic in hidden information. This connection places him in a celestial, albeit fallen, context, suggesting his knowledge is not merely earthly but cosmic. His emergence in the Ars Goetia marks a pivotal point in Western esotericism, the codification of the demonic into a bureaucracy, a dark mirror of the angelic hosts, where each spirit has a rank, a seal, and a specific domain. Vassago's domain is the past and the future, the lost and the found. He is the librarian of the abyss, and his first appearance in text is not a birth, but a re-emergence, a reminder that some truths are so potent they cannot be erased, only buried and waiting to be rediscovered by those brave or foolish enough to call his name into the silent dark. If you were to summon Vassago successfully, to pierce the veil with the correct incantations and a will of iron, what would you see? The grimoires say a man, but this is a profound simplification, a cognitive anchor for a mind unable to process his totality. He would manifest first as a distortion, a patch of darkness that drinks the light, a shimmer in the air like heat haze on a cold day. Then the form coalesces, tall, dignified, bearing an aristocratic austerity that feels millennia old. His skin is not flesh, but resembles polished hematite or dark obsidian, reflecting the room in fractured, unsettling shards. Upon his brow rise great, branching antlers not of a deer, but of something primordial, like petrified coral or blackened, lightning-struck oak, etched with faint silver runes that pulse in time with his speech. His eyes are his most defining feature, pools of liquid mercury, shifting and reflective, holding no pupil, yet seeing everything. To look into them is to see your own reflection distorted, surrounded by fleeting images of your own past and potential futures. He is often draped in robes that seem woven from the night sky itself, a fabric of deep violet and starless black, shimmering with pinpricks of light that move like distant galaxies. From his back may unfold vast, shadowy wings, not of leather and bone, but of concentrated void, fraying at the edges into tendrils of mist. An aura surrounds him, a palpable field of silent static and the scent of ozone, petrichor, and ancient stone. He does not stand on the floor. He seems to hover just above it, his presence causing the environment to react. Frost may creep across surfaces, candles may burn with a cold, blue flame, and shadows in the room deepen and become more substantive, as if eager to do his bidding. He is often depicted holding or associated with a scroll or a lantern. The scroll contains names, dates, secrets, the lost knowledge he promises. The lantern, if present, does not cast light to banish darkness, but to reveal the hidden forms within the darkness, illuminating truths that were better left obscured. His form is a monument to paradox, noble yet utterly alien, silent yet speaking directly to the mind, solid yet seemingly composed of the very essence of mystery. The powers of Vassago are as precise and vast as the archives he is said to guard. His primary dominion is divination, the unveiling of that which is hidden. He can, with unnerving accuracy, disclose the past, no matter how ancient or deliberately erased. He can reveal the present, no matter how distant or shrouded in secrecy. And most perilously, he can unveil the future, showing the tangled threads of fate and potential outcomes. But this is not a passive viewing of a fixed timeline. His revelations often come with a cost of perspective, showing truths that can unhinge a mind or set a seeker on a dark path they were destined to avoid. He is a master of finding things. Lost objects, certainly, but also lost people, lost knowledge, lost cities buried under desert sands or jungle rot. To those who dare to ask, he can reveal the location of hidden treasures, but these are seldom mere gold and jewels. The treasure might be a forgotten scientific formula, a heretical religious text, or the burial place of a king who carried a terrible secret to his grave. Furthermore, Vassago exerts a subtle influence over the minds of humans, not through overt possession, but through inspiration and obsession. He is the whisper that leads an archaeologist to a specific dig site against all odds. He is the sudden, inexplicable idea that drives a historian to cross-reference two seemingly unrelated manuscripts, uncovering a conspiracy. He is the dream that haunts a novelist, providing the plot for a story that feels eerily true. His influence is like a key turning in a lock deep within the psyche, opening doors to rooms of the mind one never knew existed. However, this guidance is neutral. He does not care if the discovered truth leads to enlightenment or ruin, to healing or to blackmail. He is the catalyst, not the moral compass. Rituals to summon him are fraught with danger, not because he is inherently violent, but because the act of seeking such absolute knowledge is a violence unto oneself. The ritual space must be sealed with his sigil, the air thick with frankincense and myrrh. The conjurer must stand within a protective circle, not just to contain the demon, but to shield their own spirit from the sheer, unfiltered torrent of information that Vassago embodies. To look upon him is to risk having one's own life story, with all its shames and hidden corners, reflected back in an instant. History and legend are littered with whispered accounts of those who sought an audience with the great prince. Consider the tale of Alastair Finch, a 19th-century antiquarian driven to madness by the disappearance of his sister, Elinor. After years of fruitless search, his studies led him to the Seal of Vassago. In a desperate ritual in his London townhouse, he called upon the demon. The air grew cold, and the fire in the grate died to embers. Vassago appeared not as a monster, but as a solemn gentleman in Victorian attire, though his eyes swirled like quicksilver. Alastair demanded to know Elinor's fate. Vassago did not speak aloud, but placed a single image in Alastair's mind: a view from a cliffside on a remote Scottish isle, a specific jagged rock overlooking the stormy sea. He then vanished, leaving the scent of salt and heather. Alastair rushed to the location and, after a grim search, found Elinor's locket caught in the rocks. The truth was revealed, but it was a hollow, terrible truth that offered no peace, only a finality that shattered his last hope. In another, more sinister vein, there are stories of secretive cults throughout the ages who have worshipped Vassago not as a mere informant, but as a patron of hidden wisdom. One such group, the Chronos Syndicate of Renaissance Venice, was said to use his revelations to amass not wealth, but political leverage. They would perform elaborate ceremonies in submerged crypts, their voices echoing off waterlogged stone as they asked Vassago to reveal the secrets of rival nobles, the location of compromising documents, or the outcome of proposed alliances. The demon provided, and the syndicate thrived in the shadows, until the knowledge they accumulated became too great a burden. Members began to suffer from a collective psychic malady, seeing the past and future overlaying the present, until reality itself became an indecipherable palimpsest, and the cult dissolved into whispers and paranoia. The danger of an encounter with Vassago often lies not in the moment of revelation, but in its aftermath. Knowledge, once gained, cannot be unknown. It alters the path of the knower irrevocably. There is a documented case from the early 20th century of a cartographer named Ilara Vance who discovered a reference to Vassago in a Mesopotamian clay tablet fragment. Obsessed with finding the fabled city of pillars mentioned in the text, she performed a solitary ritual in the desert under a starless sky. Vassago manifested as a shifting mirage of dark stone and starlight. He showed her the city's location, not on a map, but as a visceral sensory memory of walking its echoing halls, feeling its dry, dead air, seeing its cryptic inscriptions. Ilara led an expedition and found the city, a monumental archaeological breakthrough, but she was never the same. She claimed she could hear the city, a low hum of forgotten languages and lost time. The specific knowledge Vassago granted opened a channel in her mind she could not close. She spent her remaining years in the city, trying to translate the hum, becoming a ghost among the ruins she had discovered, a living testament to the curse of absolute knowing. On a more mystical level, some esoteric traditions speak of Vassago's labyrinth, a metaphysical construct or state of consciousness one enters upon seeking his counsel. It is described as a limitless, non-Euclidean library where every fact, every memory, every possibility is recorded. The summoner's consciousness is cast into this labyrinth to find their answer. Many get lost, their minds unable to navigate the infinite corridors of information, becoming trapped in a catatonic state, their bodies in our world but their selves adrift in an ocean of truth. The physical toll of such encounters is also noted. Rapid aging, a bleaching of the hair, eyes that become perpetually wide and reflective, as if still trying to process the unprocessed. The demon himself is never malicious in these tales. He simply provides the service requested. The tragedy is always human, born from a failure to understand that some doors, once opened, can never be shut, and some light, when it reveals all, can also blind. Beyond the grimoires and the ghost stories, Vassago occupies a profound space in the human psyche as a symbol. He represents the eternal, dangerous allure of forbidden knowledge, the Faustian bargain stripped of its glamorous promises, reduced to its core, truth for truth's sake. Psychologically, he embodies the shadow aspect of the seeker, the part of us that values knowing above all else, even above happiness, sanity, or safety. He is the drive that pushes scientists into ethically gray areas, the curiosity that leads detectives to uncover family secrets that destroy them, the obsession that drives artists to capture a vision that ultimately consumes them. Culturally, his influence has seeped into modern media, though often in diluted forms. He is the archetype of the enigmatic informant in cyberpunk narratives, the ancient AI that holds all data, the mysterious guide in video games who provides the player with crucial but unsettling lore. He is rarely the primary antagonist. He is a plot device, a catalyst for change, a mirror that reflects the protagonist's own hunger for answers. In contemporary occult practice, attitudes toward Vassago have evolved. Some modern practitioners view him not as a demon in the Christian sense, but as a personification of a specific archetypal energy, the energy of deep research, of psychic archaeology, of ancestral memory. Rituals to invoke him are framed not as subservient summonings, but as respectful invitations to collaborate in uncovering hidden threads of reality. However, even in these modern contexts, the warnings remain. The core symbolism of Vassago is a locked box. He provides the key. But the contents of the box, once seen, will redefine the world of the one who opened it. His enduring presence in myth speaks to a fundamental human tension. We are creatures who fear the dark, yet we are endlessly compelled to shine a light into it, never certain if what we will find is a treasure, a terror, or simply a truth so vast it renders us insignificant. We have walked the silent halls of Vassago's domain, from his mythic origins in ancient texts to his shadowy influence on the human soul. We have seen his noble, terrifying visage and understood the precise, profound nature of his power, not to destroy, but to reveal. He is a reminder that in the vast cosmology of the unseen, some of the most potent forces are not those that clash with us in open war, but those that stand in serene, indifferent observation, waiting for us to ask the questions that will change everything. The stories of Alistair, of the Chronos Syndicate, of Alara Vance, they are not mere fables. They are parables written in the language of fear and fascination, cautionary tales about the price of lifting the veil. In our world, where information is more accessible than ever, Vassago's symbolism feels particularly resonant. We live in an age of digital oracles, where answers to almost any question are a search away. Yet the fundamental warning remains. Are we prepared for the truths we so casually seek? Can we bear the weight of knowing what was lost, what is hidden, what might be? Vassago, the great prince, the keeper of lost things, does not answer these questions for us. He simply ensures we have the data to ask them of ourselves. So the next time you feel that compelling pull towards a mystery, that itch to uncover a secret, or that sudden, inexplicable insight in the dead of night, pause. Listen to the quality of the silence. You may just hear the faintest whisper, not in your ears but in the back of your mind, the whisper of a demon who deals not in lies but in truths, and whose services are, in the end, the most perilous gift of all. Another legend fades, but the next awaits. Like this video, subscribe and continue the journey through myths.